The day I brought the seafood bisque to my wife and younger brother, I saw the chat stream. Run, dude, run. The female lead only married you because of her dead. One that got away. I looked at my wife, Elena, sitting by the hospital bed, feeding my brother spoonful by spoonful. Her face held a patience and tenderness I had never seen directed at me. She thought her dead lover's heart was beating inside my brother's chest. What she didn't know was that the love of her life was long dead, his heart gone, and I was already paving my road to Oslo, Norway. It was 10 o'clock at night when I dragged my exhausted body through the front door. The house was pitch black. A man's suit jacket and a woman's coat were draped over the sofa, the air thick with a familiar perfume. I let out a self-deprecating laugh. Elena had brought Julian home again, but they must have left in a hurry. It was freezing outside, and they hadn't even taken their coats. Buzz, buzz. The ringing phone cut through my thoughts. Elena's angry voice pierced my ear. Caleb, what the hell are you doing? Julian had an episode and is in the hospital. As his older brother, how can you not be here? Is this how you treat family? I pursed my lips, unable to stop myself from snapping back. Elena, I just walked in the door. I just found out about Julian. What right do you have to blame me? Elena was my wife. We met in high school. Back then, she used to tag along behind me and my best friend, Liam Cole. Everyone teased her, calling her our little shadow. After graduation, Liam died in a car accident. His parents, the Coles, decided to donate his heart to help others. Elena was devastated for a long time, locking herself in her room, crying, refusing to see anyone. We reconnected in college. Suddenly, Elena was passionate about me. She would wait at the lecture hall door every night to walk me back to the dorms. In the winter, she'd ride the bus for 2 hours from the north side of the city to the south, just to buy me the roasted sweet potatoes I liked. She tolerated my flaws and never lost her temper. Later, we made it official, dated, and naturally got married after graduation. When we were together, she liked to place her hand over my heart and ask gently, Caleb, do you love me? I would smile, pull her in my arms, kiss her forehead, and say, of course. I thought our happiness would last forever. But 2 years ago, she suddenly changed. She became impatient with me. Instead, she became incredibly attentive and caring toward my brother, Julian. At first, I told myself she was just being a good sister-in-law. But then they got too close. It crossed the line. Well, I told my parents. They said I was paranoid and even scolded me. Yes, Julie and I are both Sterlings, but they had always favored him. I was used to it. From the other end of the phone came Elena's anxious voice against a noisy background. Caleb, Julian hasn't eaten all day. I made his favorite seafood bisque in the kitchen. Bring it to the hospital. Now. I glanced at the pot on the stove and whispered, okay. After packing the bisque, I stood up to leave. Suddenly, a white light flashed in my mind, and lines of text, like a live stream chat, scrolled across my vision. Caleb is so pathetic. Bossed around by his wife every day, gave up a chance to go abroad for her, and all he gets is betrayal. That's no excuse for him turning into a villain. If he hadn't tried to kill the rival, his ending wouldn't have been so tragic. By the way, how many targets is this for Julian now? With the buff from the heroine's dead lover's heart, completing this mission will be a breeze. Yeah. The heroine originally thought the lover's heart was given to Caleb, so she married him. Now that she knows the truth, she's ready to kick the husband to the curb and simp for Julian. My head buzzed as I tried to process the information. It took me several minutes to realize I was living inside a romance novel, and I was the secondary villain. Julian was the male lead everyone loved. No wonder he could do nothing and still receive everyone's adoration. And Elena, she only married me for her dead lover's heart. She used to stock the house with all kinds of heart medication and forbid me from staying up late or drinking coffee. I used to be smug about her concern, but thinking about it now, it was just irony. Elena only loved that organ. Swallowing the bitterness in my throat, I closed my red-rimmed eyes and headed to the hospital to get some answers. In the hospital ward, Julian lay weakly on the bed, his face pale, looking like he'd suffered a terrible shock. Elena, I think I'm okay now. Let's go home. I want seafood bisque. Elena smiled, tucked in the corner of his blanket, and said gently, I told your brother to bring it. He'll be here soon. Julian had heart disease. He'd had it since he was a child. They said it was congenital, which was why Mom and Dad always favored him. Growing up, Julian got everything he wanted. I was the smart one, always top of my class. But whenever I brought home an honor roll certificate, my parents wouldn't even look at it. They would only scold me for showing off and tell me to put it away. They were afraid of hurting Julian's feelings because he struggled in school. Remembering the past, I laughed at myself. I thought that after marriage, there would finally be someone who loved me wholeheartedly. But I couldn't fight fate. I was completely disillusioned with Elena. The scenes of her kindness toward Julian over the last 2 years flashed before my eyes. The floating text appeared in my mind again. Caleb is such a fool, still having feelings for Elena. That woman is a super scumbag. Run, brother. Isn't going to work in Norway better? Why get mixed up with this toxic couple? Sob, sob, sob. Caleb, if you miss this chance, you won't get another one. Caleb, go abroad and your career will bloom. I fell into deep thought. The chat made sense. Although they appeared suddenly, their tone suggested they knew the future. Since Elena didn't love me anymore, there was no point in torturing myself by staying. With that thought, I sent a message to my director, accepting the company's transfer order. In 7 days, I would leave for the headquarters in Oslo, Norway. The chat exploded. Holy crap, what's going on with Caleb? He actually agreed to go abroad. Doesn't that change the original plot? Exciting. Hype. Let's go. Support the villain's career era. Why should the manipulator get all the good stuff? After sending the message, I put away my phone and walked into the ward. Elena was still coddling Julian. Seeing me enter, she hurriedly took the thermal container from my hand, complaining, "What took you so long? The bisque has been in the container too long. The taste will be ruined." Julian is a patient. Bad food affects his recovery. Don't you know that? I handed her the soup without a word. Watching Elena feed Julian mouthful by mouthful, seeing that patience and tenderness I'd never experienced, I smiled mockingly and turned to leave. Elena gave me a weird look. Rarely did she speak to me with any temperance, but she said, "Caleb, why are you so quiet today? Usually, when I ask you to do something for Julian, you resist. You were pretty quick today. Did the sun rise in the west?" Early in our marriage, Elena was often summoned by Julian for various reasons. At first, she cared about my feelings and refused him. But after she learned that Liam's heart was supposedly in his body, her attitude toward Julian did a 180. She not only gave all the heart medication in our house to Julian, but also called him every night to tell him to go to bed early. I fought, I screamed, I even threatened suicide to stop her. But all I got was one sentence. Elena told me that me dying 100 times wouldn't compare to Julian feeling chest pain once. Now I was tired. I didn't want to fight anymore. Neither my parents' love nor Elena's love had ever tilted in my direction. Seeing I wasn't speaking, Elena frowned and blocked my path. "Caleb, what game are you playing? Stop it." I looked at her with a smile, though my eyes stung. "Did you forget what day it is? Elena." My voice was calm, suppressing the heartache. "Today is our wedding anniversary." Elena rubbed her temples, looking put out. She picked up her coat from the chair and whispered, "I'll keep you company. Julian should be fine now." I stepped around her and headed for the door. "No need. It's not important anyway." Elena sighed heavily and chased after me. Suddenly, Julian's cry for help came from behind. "Elena! Elena, my heart hurts. Don't go, please." Elena's steps froze. She hesitated for a few seconds, then turned and ran back to the ward, hugging Julian and whispering comforts. Don't be scared, I'm here. I'm not going anywhere." Julian, face pale, leaned on her shoulder and shot me a triumphant smirk. I turned and left, utterly disappointed in Elena. I had already decided to leave the country. Just 7 days left until I could get away from them. Elena didn't drag her exhausted body back home until the next morning. She threw her clothes casually on the floor and went into the bathroom to wash up. In the past, I always loved managing everything for her. Elena's entire wardrobe was bought by me. I washed, ironed, and hung her clothes in the closet. Now, I didn't want to do it anymore. I sat at the dining table eating breakfast, researching divorce procedures on my phone between bites. Elena came out of the bathroom and sat opposite me. "You didn't make breakfast for me?" I kept my head down, too lazy to engage. "I assumed you ate your fill outside." Elena frowned, her expression displeased. "Julian had a sudden attack yesterday. I couldn't just leave him at the hospital alone. You can't be so heartless. Caleb, he is your biological brother. You're too cold-blooded. No wonder your parents don't like you." I put down my phone, looked straight at Elena, and said calmly, "Then you should spend more time with him for me. After all, Julian really likes you as a sister-in-law." Elena scrutinized the expression on my face, her lips pressed into a tight line. "What game are you playing now?" "Playing hard to get." She was rare to get agitated. "I really don't understand. He's your brother. Why do you hate him so much? Is your heart made of iron?" I didn't want to answer her stupid questions, so I just got up and left the kitchen. This was the first time I had been cold to Elena. Actually, she knew everything. Ever since Elena came home with me to meet my parents for the first time, Julian had been obsessed with clinging to her. No matter where Elena went, he insisted on tagging along, and Elena indulged him. She always said Julian was young and not as independent as me, so we should take care of him. Just because Julian said he liked the style of our wedding rings, Elena bought an identical ring and gave it to him. I had fought with Elena about that, but all I got was a scolding. She always felt I was unreasonable, not understanding and considerate like Julian. Now, I didn't want to keep score. I didn't want to waste any more time on them. 6 days left until I left Elena. The next evening, Elena sent a text. I'm drunk. I'm at the bar on Pike Street. Come pick me up now. I intended to ignore the message and turn to head home. Just then, the chat stream floated across my mind. If Caleb doesn't go to the bar to pick up Elena, he probably won't discover the secret. What do you mean? Is there a hidden plot? Just keep watching. Elena, this heroine, is kind of an idiot. She even got the white moonlight mixed up. I changed direction, steering my black Mercedes toward the bar. Inside the VIP booth, Elena sat sprawled on the sofa, playing with a wine glass. In the dim light, her face looked even more seductive. The person speaking next to her was her best friend. Elena, you're really something? Messing around with your brother-in-law, behind your husband's back, every day. Aren't you afraid Caleb will get mad? Elena leaned back, a sarcastic smile curling her lips. She spoke casually. He doesn't have the guts. Caleb loves me to death. You could lend him 800 balls, and he still wouldn't dare get mad at me. Another person laughed wickedly. Sigh, I advise you to stop thinking about your one that got away. He's been dead a long time. You should move on and treat Caleb better. A man that foolishly loyal is hard to find. Ha ha ha. Elena's eyes sharpened, and she raised her voice. If he hadn't saved me, I would have died in that fire back in high school. I was too cowardly to confess my feelings back then, and I only regretted it after he died. Now that I found his heart, I won't let go again, no matter what. I stood outside the door, my entire body turning to ice. So, Elena thought Liam was the one who saved her. That night in sophomore year, during late study hall, the wiring in the equipment room shorted out due to lack of maintenance, trapping Elena inside. Thick smoke billowed from the room, and Elena passed out inside. All the students were running out. I was the only one who realized she hadn't come back. I rushed into the equipment room without a second thought and dragged her downstairs. Afterward, a huge group of reporters came for interviews. They wanted to know who braved the fire to save her. Doing a good deed usually meant a school commendation. But Mom and Dad didn't want me to be too high profile. They were also afraid that if Julian saw me being praised, he would be unhappy. They locked me in my room and warned me not to say a word. Otherwise, I wouldn't be allowed to go back to school. With no other choice, Liam stepped up and took the credit to cover for me. So that was it. Elena had fallen in love with him from that moment, simply because she thought Liam was her savior. Fate really likes to play jokes. The booth was noisy. Elena sent another message. Where are you? Hurry up. I'm losing patience. I composed myself and pushed the door open. The room was chaotic, but when they saw me, it went quiet for a split second before erupting again. Oh, hey, Caleb's here. Come drink with us. We were just talking about you. Elena looked at me through half-closed eyes, slurring a cold snort. So slow. No efficiency at all. Who would want to be with you if you left me? Her friend chimed in. Oh, Caleb loves you so much. How could he bear to leave you? Besides, if he leaves you, he's divorced goods. Where would he find a woman as stunning as Elena? The group roared with laughter. Elena's eyes and brows were filled with mocking amusement. I stood opposite her, saying nothing. Elena signaled with her eyes. Come over and pour drinks for the girls. Be smart about it, don't embarrass me. I looked into Elena's eyes, utterly disappointed. Elena, let's get a divorce. The air went silent for several seconds. Everyone's eyes focused on me. Some probing, some mocking, some confused. Elena's face turned ugly as she suppressed her anger. Say that again? I pulled the divorce agreement out of my bag and threw it in front of her. Let's divorce. This life is meaningless. I don't want to continue. Elena shot up, grabbing my hand. Are you crazy? You dare mention divorce to me? Look at yourself. If you leave me, who would want a guy like you? I'll give you 3 seconds. Take it back. Seeing the situation escalate, people around us tried to stop Elena, scrambling to separate us. Her eyes were red, her face flushed with rage. No one had ever seen her like this. I shook off her hand, unwilling to say another word. I don't love you anymore. Divorce is the best choice for us. It was as if Elena had been burned by those words. She swept the glasses off the table like a maniac and tore the divorce papers into shreds. I don't agree. I don't agree. You want a divorce? Not a chance. She was making a scene, dragging on my hand, demanding an explanation. I took a step back, keeping my distance. People around me were advising me to think clearly, Saying a woman as elegant, smart, and successful as Elena was hard to find. But I just felt bored. Elena was boring. Life with her was boring. The time I spent loving her was boring. I was going to live my own life from now on. 5 days left until I left Elena. The chat. Brothers, what's the situation? Why did Caleb bring up divorce? The plot has changed. Exciting. Hype. Who understands me right now? Seeing Elena go crazy makes me feel so good. I used to think Elena's deep love for Julian was touching, but I never thought about how Caleb felt as the husband. Turns out, romance novel morality is kind of twisted. Plot twist. Domineering queen sweet romance instantly turns into urban male awakening story. Support the bro focusing on his career. Stay away from the toxic woman and be handsome on your own. The commenter above is thinking too simply. I don't think Elena will let Caleb go that easily. That weekend, I came home to find Mom and Julian sitting on the sofa. Elena was playing the role of the good daughter-in-law, pouring tea for my mom. Julian leaned back on the sofa, naturally accepting the tangerine Elena had peeled for him. I hated tangerines. I disliked the sour smell. So, they never appeared in our house. My gaze swept over the tangerine in Julian's hand and the limited edition designer bag on Mom's arm, without a trace of emotion. What are you doing here? Mom turned around to lecture me. Caleb, I heard everything from Elena. So she went out with friends and had a few too many? It's the 21st century. Women have social lives too. Don't be so immature. Talking about divorce? It's embarrassing. Elena sat to the side, looking at me with a smile, her eyes cold. Caleb, listen to Mom. Stop making a scene, okay? If you leave me, could you ever find anyone better? It had been like this since childhood. Mom always used being mature to suppress me. She expected me to be independent, get good grades, be considerate, take care of my brother, know how to endure, and never fight to be first. But no matter what Julian did, Mom would support him. She could tolerate Julian's willfulness but treated my divorce as a stain. Even when Julian had heart surgery, Mom told outsiders I was the one who had it because she didn't want people gossiping about her favorite son having a bad body. Seeing my expression darken, Julian shrank next to Elena and whispered, Elena, why isn't Caleb talking? He looks so scary. Elena gently comforted Julian, then turned to glare at me. Mom also complained, Caleb, do you ever listen to me? Did I give birth to you just so you could get divorced? When will you be as sensible as your brother? Elena frowned in displeasure. Instantly, the temperature in the room dropped to freezing. There was nothing in this home worth staying for. I turned my head, not wanting to look at them anymore. Mom, since you like Elena so much, after we divorce, let Julian marry her. That way, you're all still one family. Mom's eyes went wide, looking at me in disbelief. Julian shyly glanced at Elena and lowered his head. Is that really okay? I nodded, staring at Elena's reddening eyes and the way her arm brushed against Julian's. I give you my blessing. Elena's face grew uglier by the second, a storm brewing in her eyes. Julian couldn't help leaning toward her, but Elena pushed him away. No, you are my husband. You can't divorce without my consent. Julian froze. Then what about us? It was as if Elena's tail had been stepped on. She shouted, I treat you as a younger brother. Don't get the wrong idea. Your brother and I are the family. If you have any trouble, I'll help you out of respect for Caleb. Elena couldn't bear to be too harsh, her voice getting quieter at the end. The chat. Oh my God, what kind of showdown is this? The heroine actually spoke like a human being? Rare. Honestly, I felt bad for the secondary male lead from the start. Top student, good kid, but his family never liked him. His parents are terrible, biased beyond belief, making their older son suffer just to keep Julian happy. If it were me, I would have turned villain ages ago. It's tough for this guy. I turned to walk to my room, not wanting to get involved in their mess. Elena followed, grabbing my hand, her eyes pained. Caleb, are you really this heartless? We've loved each other for so many years. Do you really have the heart to divorce? She stared into my eyes, desperate for an answer. Elena was panicking. She had never imagined we would divorce. In college, I had a severe bout of gastroenteritis. I was vomiting and had diarrhea, couldn't even walk. Elena braved a torrential downpour to carry me on her back to the hospital, guarding my bedside while I was on M4. She stayed by my bed all night. Under the dim hospital lights, with the storm raging outside, Elena had rushed back in wearing a raincoat, carefully protecting a bowl of millet porridge in her arms, smiling foolishly. I want to buy you porridge. The doctor said you should eat something bland. I scolded her for being an idiot. It's pouring rain. Why were you running around? Elena scratched her head and hugged me. I was afraid your stomach would hurt if it was empty. Love could be a moment. Back then, I thought I was about to possess happiness. but I missed it, just by a little bit. Thinking about it now, love was just a play, and I was the only one immersed in it. I looked at Elena in front of me, her face gradually overlapping with her 18-year-old self. After a long time, I came back to reality and asked softly, Elena, did you marry me for love or for the heart? In an instant, Elena's face turned sheet white. Behind her, Julian's expression turned nasty too. I sighed deeply and turned toward the bedroom. Elena stubbornly blocked my path, frantically explaining, Caleb, how do you know about that? Who told you? Listen to me, it's not what you think. Suddenly, Julian behind her turned pale and collapsed on the floor, groaning in pain. It hurts. It hurts. My heart hurts so bad. Mom supported him, screaming for help in a panic. Caleb, stop throwing a tantrum. Hurry up, your brother is dying. I didn't turn around. Instead, I looked at Elena. You go. He looks like he needs you more. Elena hesitated for a few seconds, but ultimately ran out the door with Mom, supporting Julian. Before leaving, she specifically instructed, I will definitely be back tonight. We need to talk properly. I smiled indifferently. Elena had said that many times, but she had never once come back. I woke up the next morning. I crossed off a day on the calendar. 4 days left until I could leave. In the kitchen, wearing yesterday's clothes, Elena was making porridge. The table was full of my favorite breakfast items. Seeing me come out, she quickly said, Caleb, you're up. Go wash up. Breakfast is ready. I nodded and went into the bathroom. At the table, Elena eagerly served me porridge. She had also made shrimp dumplings. Taste these. See if they still taste like before. I haven't made them in a long time. I'm a bit rusty. I took a bite. The taste hadn't changed, but the person had. Even the best shrimp dumplings couldn't bring back the feeling of those years. When we first started dating, she noticed I had a poor appetite and would constantly switch up recipes to make me delicious food, never repeating a dish. But after marriage, Elena rarely went into the kitchen for me. I was the one taking care of her. Yet, as long as it was something Julian wanted to eat, no matter how busy Elena was with work, she would cook it personally. I put down my chopsticks. Elena, if you have nothing to do today, go to the hospital. Julian's health is poor. He needs your care. Elena's hand, holding her chopsticks, trembled. She lowered her head, acting as if she hadn't heard me. Oh, I made a reservation at that restaurant you've always liked for tonight. Let's go after work. I also bought new wedding rings. They'll arrive in a few days. I know you never liked the original style. It was my fault before I neglected you. So she had known all along. Who wouldn't like their own wedding ring? It was just because Julian wanted to wear the same style as us. Back then, I screamed and fought with Elena many times, receiving only cold indifference. Elena had said, it's just a stupid ring. Is it that big a deal? At the time, in her eyes, our wedding ring was less important than Julian's mood. The autumn sun wasn't harsh, but beads of sweat appeared on Elena's face. She looked up at me expectantly. I put down my chopsticks. Elena, you should go. If you're late, Julian will be unhappy. Elena seemed on the verge of a breakdown. She looked at me desperately. Caleb, please don't treat me like this. I beg you. I'd rather you scream and fight like before than face this cold, indifferent face. Before, I could still feel that you cared. But now, I can't feel anything. Let's not divorce. Can we just live a good life? I looked at her, my heart not stirring a single ripple. So this is what it feels like to not love someone. Elena, it's too late. We can't go back. I stood up and walked out, casually sliding the ring off my ring finger and tossing into the trash can. Impure love is like garbage. There's no need for it to exist. Elena shot up and ran to the trash can, digging out the ring like a maniac, guarding it in her arms like a treasure. She curled up into a ball, staring at the wedding photo on the wall, and wailed. The chat, this plot is intense. Brother is a legend. This feels so satisfying. What is up with Elena? Her attitude did a total 180. The commenter above must be new. Let me fill you in. Yesterday, Elena took Julian, who was faking his illness, to the hospital. Guess what? She overheard the conversation between that bizarre mother and son. Elena, that pig, finally figured out she loved the wrong person and realized Caleb was the boy who saved her. Oh my God, so much drama. My hands are shaking with excitement. Is the scumbag wife finally going to chase the husband? Support to chase him to the crematorium arc, +1. Elena can cry louder. We can't get enough. I checked the stream while driving. Actually, Elena is kind of pitiful too. It's not like this couple had no love. Fate just played tricks on them. Getting back together wouldn't be bad. I bet $1 Caleb can't let her go. No, I wouldn't. Whether Elena knew the truth or not, I wouldn't turn back. The damage was always there, just covered up. Elena's love was like poison wrapped in candy. Loving the wrong person once was my misfortune. Continuing the mistake would be my own fault. One day left before going abroad. My colleagues knew I was going to the headquarters in Oslo and proposed a farewell dinner for me that night. At dinner, I drank a bit too much and chatted with my colleagues. I didn't know when Elena arrived, but she was sitting to the side, waiting to take me home. My assistant, Mikey, went up to greet her. "Elena, haven't seen you in a while. Been busy." Elena smiled, looking at me gently. "Busy, but I still have to pick up my husband." Mikey gave a thumbs up. "That's great. You're a role model, Elena." No wonder Caleb didn't hesitate at all about going abroad. It must be because of your full support behind him. Elena's face froze. She turned to look at him. Abroad? Mikey was drunk too and didn't notice Elena's mood shift at all. He blurted everything out. "Yeah, Caleb leaves tomorrow. We're all really going to miss him. Today is his promotion party." Elena lowered her head. I couldn't see her face clearly, only hearing her cold, grim voice. "Good. Very good." At 10 o'clock, everyone dispersed. Elena, wearing a black dress, waited in the hotel lobby. Seeing me come downstairs, she naturally reached for my briefcase. "Give me the bag. I'll carry it for you." I was in a good mood today and didn't want to bicker with her over small things. "The chat, bro, wake up. Can't you feel the vibe? Elena's eyes look like she's about to eat you. If you give her the bag, how are you going to run? Bro, run. Elena wants to lock you up." My hand froze in midair. I feigned indifference. "It's fine. I'll carry it myself." Elena's lips twitched, her smile bitter, her voice indescribably sad. "Are you not even willing to let me do this small thing now? I haven't signed the divorce papers." I looked at her impatiently. "You don't have to sign. I'll get a lawyer to file for divorce. If 1 year doesn't work, I'll wait 2. If 2 doesn't work, I'll wait 3. I have a whole lifetime to wait you out." The affection of youth had turned into a sharp blade, stabbing the one I loved most. The old Elena was like this. And now, so was I. The chat told me to run, but I couldn't. My documents were all at home. If I left rashly, not only would I lose my ID, but the job abroad would go up in smoke. I got in a car and followed Elena home. On the way, Elena's phone rang nonstop. She declined every call. I saw the caller ID was Julian. At our front door, Julian was squatting in the corner. He was wearing hospital pajamas, tear tracks on his face, looking pathetic and wretched. Seeing the man huddled in the corner, Elena's brow furrowed involuntarily. She instinctively stepped in front of me. "Julian, why are you here? I already made things clear to you." Ever since Elena learned the truth, she had intentionally distanced herself from Julian. That's why he blocked us at the door. I didn't want to be part of this farce. I stepped around Elena to go inside. Julian blocked my path, crying hysterically. "Caleb, I know I'm not as good as you in anything. I didn't get good grades, I'm not as good looking, but I really love Elena. Can you give her to me? Please." Julian was like this. As long as it was something I liked, he had to snatch it. Before I could say anything, Elena spoke up first. "Enough. Stop making a scene. I will never be with you. Are you deaf? Why do you keep pestering me? I only have one husband, Caleb. Stop disturbing us." Hearing this, Julian couldn't stand it anymore. Clutching his heart, he swayed and fell toward Elena. Elena dodged quickly, letting Julian hit the ground. Inside the house, I walked into the bedroom, locked the door, and started looking for my documents. Elena's footsteps stopped outside the door. Her voice sounded bitter. "Caleb, the custom rings arrived. Do you want to try them? It's the new design from that designer you like." I asked a friend to help me snag them. Seeing no reaction, Elena continued talking to herself through the door. "You drank so much, you must feel awful. I'll make you some hangover soup right now." Her footsteps gradually faded away. Where were they? Not in the wardrobe. Not in the storage cabinet. Not in the nightstand. I even searched under the mattress. The chat. "Sigh, Caleb, stop looking. Elena put the documents and your marriage license in the safe in the study. This woman wants to play misery. Caleb, get the docs and run." I opened the door. While Elena was cooking, I slipped into the study. In front of the safe, I tried several combinations, but couldn't open it. I even tried Mom's birthday. Still nothing. Then the text appeared. "Caleb, I definitely won't tell you the password is 387926. Haha, good job, kid, you said it. But it's useless if you say it. The male lead can't see our chat." "Wait, he can. That password sounds so familiar. Holy crap, I think I recognize it. Could be the date Elena was trapped in the fire combined with Caleb's birthday. Damn it, fate is cruel. Elena, you fool. Your good husband is running away." My hand paused over the keypad. I let out a long sigh. Then I continued. Click. The safe opened. Inside were files, love letters Elena had written me in the past, and photos from our travels. I only took my passport and ID cards. Walking into the living room, Elena was bringing dishes out. I looked around. Elena and I had decorated this home ourselves. Warm yellow lights, a fluffy sofa, and a large cat tree on the balcony. We had agreed that once our finances were stable, we'd get a kitten. An orange tabby would be best. We'd feed it until it was chubby. It would feel great to hold. But the night I went to pick out a cat, I saw Julian walking arm in arm with Elena, shopping. Her face held a gentleness I hadn't seen in a long time. I stood at the entrance for a long time, and in the end, I didn't walk into the pet shop. Seeing me come out of the bedroom, Elena smiled ingratiatingly. She was wearing a cartoon apron, a free gift from one of her supermarket trips. "Caleb, the hangover soup is ready. I also made that dessert you like. Come taste it." I pulled out a chair and ate a spoonful of dessert. Elena kept talking. I took a long leave of absence. I plan to stay home and keep you company. I was wrong about everything before. Don't be mad anymore. I know I'm not good, my brain is stupid. I mistook the person, and we wasted so many years for nothing. From now on, I only love you. There's only you in my heart, no one else. If I had heard Elena say this 3 months ago, I would have been moved. But now I just wanted to leave. I put down the spoon and whispered, "Elena, I want a drink. Can you get it for me?" Seeing me initiate conversation, Elena nodded eagerly. Okay. Your stomach isn't good. Don't drink ice water. I'll get you room temperature." As she turned, I followed behind her. I grabbed a heavy ceramic vase from the table and brought it down hard. Elena felt a sudden pain at the back of her head. She turned, looking at me with sorrow. She swayed, trying to grab my hand, but crumbled to the floor. "Caleb, I thought you were going to forgive me. Don't go, please. I beg you. We're married. You're my husband." I closed my eyes and shook my head. "Elena, we can't go back." I turned and walked out. I embarked on the journey to Norway. Epilogue. Elena's perspective to chat. It's over. Confetti. Congrats to the secondary male lead on his freedom. Even though it's over, my heart feels sour. I thought Caleb would give Elena a chance. She's kind of pitiful. Sigh, if I were Caleb, I would have run ages ago. He really had it rough. Parents don't love him. Wife is an idiot. Say no more. Just hope he divorces smoothly. Elena Vanche. I once had a handsome husband, but I didn't cherish him. I pushed him away time and time again. When I regretted it and wanted to salvage things, it was already too late. The second day after Caleb left home, I woke up on the cold floor, sharp pain bringing instant clarity. Floating texts drifted through my mind. At first, I thought they were hallucinations. I could only think about searching the world for Caleb, wanting him to come back to my side. But I asked all our friends, and none of them knew Caleb's whereabouts. With no other options, I hid in the room all day, staring at our wedding photos in a daze. That was when the chat appeared again. I watched the lines of messages, a storm raging in my heart. It turned out Caleb had wanted a divorce for a long time. My heart was filled with bitterness. The chat said they were all cursing me, but they were right. And among the thousands of insults, I could see news about Caleb. They said Caleb was doing well in Norway, happy every day. They said Caleb leaving me was the right choice. Staying by my side left only heartbreak. I wanted to refute them, but looking back on the past, I couldn't open my mouth. That was the first time I realized I wasn't a qualified wife. I had possessed such a perfect family, such a good husband, but I destroyed it all with my own hands. I looked at the furnishings in the house, imagining Caleb was still there, and waves of bitterness rose in my heart. I got drunk every day, locking myself in the room. Because I hadn't been to the office in so long, I lost my job. I completely stopped caring about Julian. My mother-in-law came to find me a few times, her words fishing for news about Caleb. When Caleb was here, they never had to worry about anything. Now that Caleb was gone, my mother-in-law's house was chaos. She regretted her favoritism, only remembering her older son's goodness now. But it was too late. None of us deserved Caleb's love. On Valentine's Day, I received a package from abroad. It was from Caleb. It was a divorce agreement already signed. I remembered what the chat had said. Maybe letting go is the best form of love. Caleb, you are free. I hope you will be happy forever. And I will love you forever.